you think of that tide? You ever seen a tide that low? Made our way from, where were we this morning, Vic? I forget. Anyway, where the heck were we this morning? Anyway, we made it over to Gaspé, and just happened on this campground. It's absolutely beautiful. Right on the Atlantic Ocean. This is the beach area down here. I can't believe they're in that ice cold water, but they are. We got some hiking trails we're going to take off and go up here. There's our setup for this evening.
St. Fabian.
St. Fabian, that's where we were this morning, right?
We're moving so fast.
We're moving so fast.
So old.
Yeah, we're forgetting everything. I'm going to zoom in on this Indian head. Isn't that incredible? It's famous in these parts, I guess, for that. And we have our own little beach here. It is spectacular.
So Greg found this spectacular spot last second to camp at in Cabot. It is just beautiful. Look at that tree line. So quiet. Just the waves of the ocean right now. I don't know if you can see the mountains in the background there, but it's going to be a beautiful evening for a fire and a cookout. Well, I better help him unhook and unpack.
We are in Per Se, a little seaside village in Quebec, and it's famous for, hang on, it's coming up here on your left, right there, that rock has a hole in it, which you can't, we're not at a good angle so you can't really see, but it's a huge hole. There used to be two there, it said. That's just a standalone rock, and you used to be able to get
Okay, I think Mr. Greg just topped his best spot yet. This is incredible. We're on the island of Nova Scotia, and he scored the best place in the entire campground, which is number 66, which was our home address in Florida, and I just turned 66. So I think it was meant to be, and I just want to let him know here that I am never, ever leaving. There's a little island out there. We'll have to find out what that is. I think I saw something with an M, like Margie Island. And over there's a billionaire's home who follows the golf course at Cabot Trail here, and another golf course. And guess what, Mr. Billionaire? We're thousandaires, and we have the exact same view. Just wow. Wow, wow, wow.
I don't know if you can make out the rainbow, but there's a slight rainbow right here. And we are in the first day of Nova Scotia. We found this just incredible campground, McLeod's campground, 4 nights here. This is our spot. It's just like, pinch me, is this real? It has its own private beach, which we'll visit tomorrow. And the sun is setting in the west behind these pine trees here. Just spectacular. There's some light rain coming over the mountaintops there on the south side. Well, this was quite the surprise at the McLeod campground where we're staying here our first few nights in Nova Scotia. We stayed here last night and we're like, oh darn it, they don't have there's no sunset here. Well, what we didn't realize is that the owner owns property surrounding the campsite, and so we walked up here. It's a hiking and jogging path. So we walked up here and look at this. Is this not unbelievable? It goes for ever. It looks like Ireland or Scotland. It's just unbelievable. So we're gonna sit here and watch the sunset. So that billionaire's house is right there. So our airstream is just on the other side of these pine trees and down the hill a little bit. So we just walked up here, and he mows this. And there are actually 2 RV sites right there with full hookups. I don't know what those would go for, but it's just spectacular. Wow. Gonna be a heck of a sunset. So we are on Cape Breton, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is the northernmost point of Nova Scotia. And actually it's an island. You cross a waterway at the southern end in order to gain access to Cabot Trail, which we are on today. It's a scenic trail that makes a loop around the northern point of Nova Scotia. And we're hiking a hike today called Skyline. It's a 4-mile hike, offering these fantastic views behind me, and you can see down here to the road coming up the mountain. It's just fantastic. Not a real good day to see the vista or the views because of the fog, but it is just amazingly beautiful. And there's Victor. Well, wouldn't you know it, we had to leave Nova Scotia 2 weeks early because there's a hurricane headed this way. Did I say that? Yes, I did. We'd leave flipping Florida because of the hurricanes and the heat, and we get to Nova Scotia and Hurricane Lee is headed directly for Nova Scotia. We could not believe it. You couldn't make this stuff up. So we decided to head out and leave 2 weeks early and come over to New Brunswick. We're spending 2 nights here because we really wanted to see the Bay of Fundy, which is right behind me. So we are at the Fundy National Park of Canada in New Brunswick, and this is famous because it's the largest recorded tide in the world at 52 feet. Yes, I said 52 feet. That's a 5-story building. Every day, more water flows in and out of the Bay of Fundy than if you added up all of the rivers in the world. More water flows in and out of this bay in one day. I can't even wrap my mind around that. That's just unbelievable to believe that that much water flows in and out of here, but it does. And different sections of the bay have different tide levels. The 52 feet is across from us in Nova Scotia in a little finger, and that records the highest tide. The tides in here, I'm guessing, are around 18 to 20 feet. And so we're gonna walk out into the ocean, on the bottom of the ocean here in a little bit, and we'll be able to show you what it's like when you are on the bottom. I don't know if you can see here, but today, even in this low tide and high tide, you can see where Vicky's walking right here. The water at noon today was right up in here at that brown seaweed line. So right now she'd be about probably 12 feet underwater where she's walking. And of course the tides, I don't know all the scientific details of tides, but what causes them is the moon and the earth, or the sun's gravitational pull. And of course that will fluctuate depending on the position of the earth and the moon and where they're at in relatives to each other. So you get those super high tides when everything's lined up perfectly with their gravitational pull, and then you get your super tides. I'll turn this around and hopefully you can kind of get a scale of just how much this flows in and out. So we walked down here, we had lunch today, and the tide was right here in this area where I'm walking. So you can see, if you put out a straight line from here to Vicky, to over Vicky, she'd be completely underwater about probably 10 or 15 feet. So we're going to walk down here, we're going to walk on the bottom of the ocean. Come along. So how cool is this? Right now we are walking about, I'm guessing 15 feet, maybe 18 feet under the water. We're walking on the bottom of the ocean in that deep of water. And that's a medium tide. If this were a super tide, we'd probably be 25 feet underwater right now walking. It's kind of cool. There's not a lot down here in the Bay of Fundy or in this section. You'd think there'd be more sea life, but it's mostly just rock. And I wish I could do a time lapse to show you the tide coming in. It comes in, they say, really fast. This will completely fill up in about 4 hours. And in some sections where, especially over in those 52 feet high tide areas, I mean, the water comes in 12-foot swells. They have boats, tours, these raft tours that will take you into the river when it's filling up. And they are literally going over 10 to 12-foot waves. The water's rushing in so fast. So anyway, back to my story. So we came over here because we really wanted to see this area, and we knew that from here we can quickly go through the park and jump into northern Maine. So we wanted to get inland away from the hurricane, and lo and behold, the spaghetti models show the eye of the hurricane going directly into middle northern Maine. Unfortunately, I've already made the reservations at a KOA in Holton, Maine for 3 nights, so that's where we're gonna go. I made sure that I booked a site in an open field with no trees around. So we're just gonna go over there. We're leaving Friday. We'll be in there Friday night. We're gonna cross our fingers, hunker down, and try to ride it out. It's only gonna be probably a mild category 1, which we've been through those before in Florida, and it's mostly just a lot of rain and wind into the 50-60 mile an hour range, sustained winds, but we'll be well enough inland, and we're hoping that it'll die down a little bit the closer it gets here, and it always could change course too. So, but anyway, that's the plan, and we're happy that we got to see the Bay of Fundy, and a little disappointed we didn't get to spend more time in southern Nova Scotia, but we felt like we got to see enough of it, and we're happy with what we did see, and there's always another time. So anyway, thanks for watching the channel, and we'll see you next week. We'll be going into Maine and spending time in Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont. So thanks for rolling with the Roche'z. Please subscribe if you like to see more videos. We appreciate that, and give us a thumbs up if you like what you see. Take care, guys. See you soon.